Well, hello and welcome back to the Tao Manifesting Tarot. This is the tarot reading for the thinker, the serious person. This is not your rainbows and lollipops kind of tarot reading. I'm not worried about what my neighbors are doing across the street. I'm not worried about telling you why I went shopping today. I'm not worried about any of that stuff. I'm focused on you and your ability to manifest successfully. That is the one power that separates human beings from every other life form on the planet. The ability to manifest. The ability to draw pictures in our own heads. Hell, pictures, stories, movies. We have the capacity to create scenes. Now, whether they're good or bad depends upon, in part, how we're feeling at the moment, at any given time in our life, on our programming, a whole bunch of stuff. But each of us, from the time that we're born, have this capacity to manifest. Now, the baby's brain forming and growing and doing such, you really don't get to a quantifiable point in manifesting until a child is about 5 years old. Brain is still going to keep growing, although in some people I've known through my life, I think it stopped a lot earlier than 5. But let's just generalize and say, okay, great. By 5, you have enough cranial capacity to be able to manifest. Now, probably subconsciously, but nevertheless you can manifest. And in fact, they've done studies, 3, I think 4 that I'm aware of over the last 30 years, where they showed that creativity is highest and in the greatest amounts for a 5-year-old. Almost 100% of the kids in the 5 years in kindergarten had definite, pronounced manifesting ability, creative ability. By the time they got out of college, that number was down to 1%, maybe 2%. To the point where PhDs, they can barely wipe their ass and chew gum at the same time. The capacity, the ability to think for ourselves, to draw the pictures in our own heads, from our own imagination, is profound when we're young. It gets drummed out of us, which is the way puppet masters want it. So in these readings, and I do a brand new reading every day, 365, no matter about holidays, any of that other stuff, doesn't make any difference. You are primary to me. I'm in my 70s. I have nothing really to gain. Yeah, please like, subscribe, and share. Like, subscribe, and share. Like, subscribe, and share. My people around me want me to say that because it does improve the algorithms. It does give us more breadth in the podcast. Because this is a no bullshit broadcast. I'm doing podcasting, done it for 20 years, done astrology, by the way, for over 50. Astrology is a science of cycles. Numerology is the science of frequency. And this particular issue, tarot, is a science of potential. You can pass on this. Numerology, astrology, certain situations, people, whatever, they're going to come up no matter what you do. However, when we're dealing with tarot, it's up to you. You have to get involved on some level. If you pass on an energy, you feel it, but you pass on it, too bad. That's your decision. You said no. I don't want you to. I want to inspire you. This ability that you have is important to you as an individual, but at this point in human history, it is absolutely vital and essential for the survival or potential survival of mankind. Now you say to me, well, you're exaggerating. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. The puppet masters have said out loud more than once They want to kill 9 of every 10 people on the planet between now and 2050. If they can do it earlier, so much the better. They want less than 500 million people on the planet. Planet now has 8 billion. You do the math. They've said exactly that. By the way, Bill Gates even said that one of the ways that they would do this is vaccination. Take a look at the last 4 years. And take a look at the people who are keeping track of the numbers. The coroners. The people who analyze numbers for banks and insurance companies. They have to stay on top of these numbers. How many people are going to die? What's the average? Who's dying? When is they dying? They got to have all this information. And of course, the embalmers see the end result, right? And both groups say, people are dropping like flies. Just heard a story today. Gen Zers are aging faster than those older than them. Why? Well, let's see. The air is polluted, the soil is polluted, the food is polluted. They get polluted themselves with all this fake medicine stuff. Plus, there's the social aspects. So you begin to take the parts and pieces and you go, holy mackerel, somebody is up to something. You think? That's why this is a serious podcast. Trying to tap into your potential to manifest, to make the pictures that is so essential right now for us to survive. We got to make better pictures in our head. We have to have better visualization. But it's a struggle. We have been drugged out and drugged down for decades. For decades. And then there's this last election. I was kind of encouraged by the results, but cautious. And now, as the details are coming out, now as I'm seeing people lifted for their cabinet positions, now I'm really concerned. I'm not encouraged at all. Things that have been said are extremely worrisome. It's like the more things change, the more they are the same. And if that's the case, we're in deep shit. It's over. The only thing that can make a difference is your ability to manifest. I remember, probably a year ago, and then again a few months back, having discussions with people who are into metaphysics, astrology, numerology, whatever. And we were talking about the possibility, looking at the planetary placements. 5 of the biggest planets are going to be changing signs, all of them coming up in the new year. That portends major, major changes. And there were a couple of people who thought, well, that's better stuff. No, it just said change. It didn't say it was going to be better. It didn't say it was going to be worse. It's just going to be changed. It's up to us whether it's good or bad. And at this point, as I'm listening in this past week, and they're talking about cabinets and stuff coming from the new White House, we'll call it, worry me considerably. And so when we were talking a year or so ago about the possibility of maybe some kind of a civil war, we were looking at maybe red and blue. And there's certainly elements of that. But I'm beginning to think, as I look at the cabinet, or proposed cabinet, as I look at what's coming from Mr. T, I'm worried that there is yet a civil war bubbling under the surface. And it's not going to be the people who we think. It's going to come from an unexpected source, and it could have disastrous effects for the country. People who are semi-aware know that this time period is critical. Either we make the right decisions or it's done. Puppet masters win. I don't think they're going to like what they get, but I don't really care about them. The meme for today says it really clearly. Millions of people never analyze themselves. Mentally, they are mechanical products of the factory of their environment, preoccupied with breakfast, lunch, and dinner, working, sleeping, going here, going there, to be entertained or distracted. They don't know what or why they are seeking, nor why they never realize complete happiness and lasting satisfaction. By evading self-analysis, people go on being robots, conditioned by their environment. True self-analysis is the greatest art of progress. And self-analysis is required for successful manifesting. You have to understand, you got to draw the pictures. And today, the middle card, that's the Oracle cards, tells us it's to the sea. Here she is out in a boat. She's going somewhere, but I don't know that she's that concerned about where she's headed. It's where she is. And you get the feeling, looking at the card, that she's in deep water. She's going deep, maybe going deeper than she's ever gone before. Ooh, self-analysis? You going to continue to be a robot? I mean, after all, that's what John D. Rockefeller, the man who shaped our educational system back in the early 1900s, said. He said, I want a nation of workers, not thinkers. Guess what he has? So this gal in this boat is lost in the sense that she's going deep, maybe deeper than she's ever been, looking inside of herself, looking for guidance, direction, understanding. That's where we all have to go. To do that, we hit our first card on the left. It's the Death card. Death card is transformation, endings, beginnings. It's shedding. Like a snake sheds its skin. It's getting rid of the old, making way for the new. Anytime you do that to people, they get scared. Because even if the current system is beating the crap out of them, at least they know what the system is. They've adjusted to it. So it hurts, so what? So I bleed, so what? I'm used to it. So the idea of a transformation, self-imposed, by the way, because that's what she's doing in this boat. She's going to the sea. She's going deeper, deeper than she's ever gone before. That's very scary. And here's what makes it doubly scary. The next card, Eight of Cups. Cups are things we're emotionally attached to. Could be a person, an idea, a dream, location. Doesn't make any difference. Something that we're emotionally involved with. Eight of Cups says you're unfulfilled. You're walking away, looking for a new direction. You cannot go back. You're burning bridges. You know you can never go back, period. And that's why she has to go so deep. She's got to get it right. This is not a fool's errand. She's got to get it right. She knows that. The Death card and the Eight of Cups said, man, it's over. It's done. It has to be. It's time. Whether you're comfortable with it or not, whether you like it or not, doesn't mean a goddamn thing. It's what it is. Next card is the Seven of Cups. Again, Cups, emotional connections. Seven of Cups talks about daydreaming, wishful thinking. Oh, if I just was, the world was just perfect, and there's flowers and rainbows, and oh, isn't that great? We don't live in that world. We're not going to live in that world. And in fact, Seven of Cups is also illusion, delusion. You're confused. No self-analysis. Now the final card, Hanged Man. You got to see things from a different perspective. You got to flip the script. You cannot keep things the same way because it just is not going to work. You got to let go. You got to be vulnerable because you're going and stepping into new stuff, stepping into stuff that you have never seen or been near before. That's scary. But you have no choice. You have absolutely no choice. You have the opportunity to get a new perspective, but that means that you have to be true to your self-analysis. You got to look yourself in the mirror and figure out what the hell is going on and how can I make it better. How you can make it better is manifesting. Go deep or deeper. That's the tarot reading for today. Back again tomorrow with another tarot manifested reading. Between now and the next time you and I do this, peace and blessings.